Our problem is that on that day, 251 people were taken hostage by Hamas. Many of them were women. Some of those women came back last year together with some of the Thai hostages that were, including one woman, by the way, that was there as well, one Thai woman. There was, in the group of Thai hostages, the 31, one of them was a woman. But she returned last year in November, she returned back to Thailand, back to Israel. Out of those women that came back, we heard terrible stories about what happened to them before they were taken. After they were kept, they became like, I would say, sex slaves in Gaza. And not only that they were kept, and they are still being kept in tunnels with no air and no food. They became like servants, including being raped and being like utilized on a daily basis. We still have 101 today, 101 hostages in Gaza. Some of them we know unfortunately are not alive, but still we need to return their bodies to Israel. 19 of them are women. Most of them are young women. 5 of them are soldiers. They were taken as young soldiers. And I cannot even think what they've been going through in this past year. When the war on the 7th of October 2023, last year, when the war started, we saw how brave those young women were. Some of them saved the lives of other soldiers. Some of them saved the life of many other civilians. For example, I'll give you an example. There was a group of 3 tanks, and all of them were women. So 12 young women, they were all, I think, about 20 years old or less. And they were stationed somewhere that was about half an hour's drive to where the main terror attack happened. And they heard it all the time on the radio that something is happening and something is happening. So their commander took the 3 tanks and they drove on the road, which is something that tanks do not do. You usually put them on a truck and move them from... But it was such a mess, and they took the road and they were going all the way into the fire, you know, killing people, the terrorists on the way, driving with their tanks, with their weapons and everything, going into some of the kibbutzim that were under attack, and they saved lives. Without them, so many other people would have died. So I think this was one example of how brave these women were. I can give you so many other that, you know, the commanders, women commanders, just took the weapons. They knew that their soldiers were new and they didn't know how to fight. They were fighting. They saved the others' life, but they died on that